Yo! Today we are checking out a game called Fear and Hunger 2, Termina. In this second episode of the game, you've got ex-soldier, occultist, doctor, mechanic, yellow mage, botanist, thug/boxer, and journalist. I'm going to go with thug/boxer. And we're going to put his name as Glako. Nope. Put it on easy so that we can see as much of the game as possible. For the majority of your life, you've only known the streets of the Vatican City. This is actually the first time in your life you've traveled this far from those narrow and crowded alleyways. Things don't look that fancy elsewhere. Traveling is overrated, you think to yourself. In your earliest memories, you remember spending time with your parents, but then suddenly, you just didn't have any parents anymore. You can't remember what happened, but from one point onwards, it was just you and your sisters against the world. You were still only 10 years old, but you had to make a living somehow. You tried different odd jobs. The only thing common with all of them was that eventually you messed things up and got fired. Still, you were able to save up 10 shillings. The street schooled you hard. But as you grew older, you noticed that you started to tower above those who bullied you before. If someone still tried to do you dirty, you were quickly able to give them a taste of your justice. Because of your size and skills in fighting, you started to attract the attention of local street gangs that tried to recruit you as their muscle. This never sounded alright to you. You had been extorted of your measly salaries many times. You didn't want it to do the same anymore. But turning down small-time criminals only got you into further trouble. Almost every other night you'd end up in a street fight. At one point, you realized that you were doing more fighting than actual work. Not to mention, that's where you got most of your money too. You started to consider the fighting as your job. Maybe it would be worth investing into it more. Let's go with strength. You tried to train your explosive power so your strikes would pack more punch. You started doing more push-ups. You used animal carcasses as punching bags at the local butcher where you were worked a hard time. You climbed fire escape ladders instead of using stairs and so on. You managed to increase your strength with a couple of levels in the end. You were doing alright in fights. So much so that you started to build a reputation on the streets. In no time, you moved on to underground boxing rings where you were making money on the table and less danger of the opponent pulling a knife in the middle of the match. While you were busy in the ring, your sister had grown into a beautiful young woman who attracted all kinds of admirers. It would have meant trouble if it wasn't for your mean reputation. Most of your life, thugs on the streets knew that they'd have to answer to you if they tried anything dodgy. That didn't mean that there weren't those who tried. She started to get close with a known mobster, Ricardo Accardo. He was the heir to the Accardo branch of the family. The family was an organized body of criminals operating in the Vatican City. In all intents and purposes, the family was a mafia. But they also had deep ties to the church, which in turn was running the country. So it was a bit more complicated. Despite being a mobster, Ricardo seemed decent enough. He had a flirtatious, flattering way of speaking, and in general got along with everyone. He took notice in your skills and tried to casually recruit you to their ranks. You politely declined the offer. Since you didn't take the offer, Ricardo had another one on the platter. He proposed that he'd hook you up with a real boxing trainer to get you to the next level. You again declined, but your sister insisted that you'd at least try it out. You agreed. Things started to feel more professional the second you stepped inside the gym. The trainer, an elderly gentleman who had an impressive record of previous apprentices, was impressed by your raw skills. He thought the best way to push you further would be to choose where to specialize. You learned bare fist proficiency. His methods proved effective. Soon you had your first real bout in the ring, and won the match with relative ease. Your sister and Ricardo were there to congratulate you. You continued with your winning streak. The hype around you was growing. Slowly, even you started to believe the hype. Ricardo was able to organize big matches, one after another. You started spending more time inside the family quarters with Ricardo and your sister. Without noticing it, you had been pulled into the criminal world. What started out as helping out a friend became more frequent occurrence. Soon, Ricardo showed his true colors as well. He had been building you up for a fated boxing match. Apparently, your next opponent was a former member of the family who had cut all ties to the organization. Your job was to kill him in a boxing match. You politely declined, but at this point, there was no turning back. Ricardo reminded you he had your sister back at his flat, and she'd fill it in her skin if you didn't comply. You didn't know what to do, but soon you found yourself in the ring with the ex-family member and the bell rung. He was a tough opponent, but you managed to get the best of him. You were able to counter one of his attacks with a knockout hit. Things moved in slow motion as you saw Ricardo in your corner, nodding with you a sly smile. You followed up your hit with another and another and another. You didn't even stop when the man hit the ground. The referee had to pull you away with all you got before you stopped. The damage had already been done. You had killed a person. You were devastated by all this, but kept it all inside. This was only the beginning. Ricardo had plenty of dirty work for you to do, and at this point, you had plenty of leverage too. Your sister being the last resort every time you hesitated. Things had to change. You learned killing intent. Ricardo was wary of you. He seemed to sense your killing intent from miles away. That's why he avoided seeing you alone to the best of his abilities. He was too cocky to consider you a serious threat, though, as if he had you under his thumb. That proved out to be a grave mistake for him. You were to meet Ricardo and a dozen of his henchmen at a local club to discuss another one of your many tasks. You had been waiting for an opportunity to see him alone, but that opportunity never presented itself. Fair enough, you thought. The moment you got to a punching distance, Ricardo had a split-second realization of what was happening before you knocked him off his feet. The little rat tried to slither away, but you grabbed him by his throat, kept slamming on the floor until he stopped moving. In your rage, you lifted him up and threw him over the railing. He fell from the second floor to the center of the club's dance floor. You saw him fall head first to the ground. You had succeeded in what you set out to do. Getting out of the club was secondary. You had to fight through a mob of Ricardo's goons. Somehow you made it out the back door with only minor injuries and ran away as fast as you could. You ran away from the crime scene. The problem was that now both the family and the law enforcement of the city were after you. Just then you discovered a phone call from your sister. She had been sent to Ricardo's summer villa in the country of Valand some days prior. You explained the situation to her, and the two of you decided to meet up in the country of Rondon. There was no possibility of you living in the Vatican City anymore. You had to act fast before the police would catch up on you. What did you take before you left the city? Medical supplies. You took the first train that left the country. The destination was an obscure little town called Prehevil in the country of Bohemia. We had no idea where that place was, but you figured you could plan your trip better once you got there. Save your character. Yes. No. You feel like someone was watching you while you slept. Got some healing. Rotten meat. What's that doing there? It's a lot of suitcases. What was that? This place, it's not the train anymore. You! I've been looking for you everywhere. Just where do you think you ran off to? Don't you understand the hurry we are in? Obedience is the key. That's the only way we'll be able to meet the quotas. Now back to your workbench. This is your last chance. Next time it's punishment time. What? You were supposed to assemble new cubes, of course. As for how, figure it out yourself. If you're not capable of that much, you're beyond hope. And useless in every sense of the word. What you Googling at? There's nothing to see here. Eyes on the cubes. Work, or I'll rip those eyes out of your pretty face. Use directional keys to assemble cubes. Guess we're making cubes now. The girl in pink is trying to get your attention. Where do you think you're going? Chop his arm off. Or I guess we can't chop his arm off since I'm not. What are his skills? He's got no skills. Got his arm, nice. Let's get his other arm. How is this guy still attacking me, man? Die already, you bastard. Jeez. Now I gotta heal. Whoops, did it do it? No. Maybe it did. That's as good as we're gonna get right now. Where'd she go? Over here? Your head hurts. You feel like you're losing your mind. What the? Where the heck am I? Ah, there you are. Mysterious person greets you in a monotonous voice. Got you pulled out from that nasty place. You were going deep into that rabbit hole. Now you're safe under the beautiful green hue of the moon. Welcome to the Moon Tower. That is what I'm here for, to explain the situation you are currently facing. To explain the great once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that has befallen within your grasp. Since our words could not possibly reach my master, I speak on in his behalf. And who might you, and who might my master be? Well, for now, let's just say that he was the delinquent one, or the trickster moon god. And me? You can call me Per Kille. I am just a humble servant of his celestial majesty. You are the dreamer. He is the dream. My master has invited 14 of you to join us in this jubilee of cosmic proportions. 14 candidates, but only one true victor. The festival of Termina is upon us. Ah, but it is not a matter of what you want any longer. My master doesn't give options, and frankly, neither do I. This must all be very confusing to you. I won't burden you with any more information at this very moment. Just head towards the tower. That is all you need to know for now. I will gladly answer questions once you get there. But until that, let us meet again under the moonlight. You wake up suddenly. Was it all just a dream? The train, it seems to have stopped. Oh. So that must be the best course of action for now. You interrupt a discussion. Oh, the big Chad got up. You must be just as clueless as the rest of us. The train left us all here, at the outskirts of the city. All the train personnel, everyone, gone. No explanation. We decided to stay and wait here for a while. Someone has to come for the train sooner or later. So, if you're not in a hurry, I recommend that you take a seat inside and trying to relax. Maybe we could introduce ourselves. Oh, you don't have to, of course. Don't worry about it. I didn't mean to be too nosy. My name is Marina. My name is Olivia. Lovely to meet you all. You can call me August. Karen Sauer, a journalist on duty. Hey, I'm Henrik. And this mystic gentleman over here is Osa. It was Osa, right? Silly, man. I'm pretty sure it was. We were the first to wake up. Before you came out, we were talking about this. You saw a peculiar nightmare as well, didn't you? You didn't see it? Everyone saw the same dream before waking up in the train. The moon, the girl, the festival termina. It all felt too real to pass off as just a dream. Not this talk again. We should have asked that army pig, the Bremnen pig. He was in a way too much of a hurry to leave. Bet he knew something. It smells like a sadistic army experiment. Sounds exactly like something Bremen army would be part of. They had similar hallucinogen experiments on our war prisoners. Now that the war is over, they have to get their guinea pigs elsewhere. Wish I had your capacity and feist about. I really have a hard time believing every conspiracy theory floating around. I'm a journalist. I've covered wars, you know. I don't need some flaky eye patch foreigner telling me what's possible and what's not. You haven't seen what I've seen during the past few years. I've covered wars too, you know. All men and women for the past decade or two have covered wars. What's your point again? I've seen my fair share of hallucinogens as a doctor, and I can tell from first-hand experience that there are no known chemicals that create visions that vivid. Especially visions that are identical with this many people. Good, go away. Nobody likes you, journalist. Look up there, over the forest top. Can you see the tower standing erect in the mist? That tower marks the center of Prehevil. You can hike through the forest to get there. It's not that far away. Alright then. If I see anyone, I'll let them know you guys are waiting here. Have fun finding a scoop from that sleepy town. You know where to find us if anything comes up. I don't like either of these options. Um, where's the army person? We got a forest up north. Got this lady wandering around. Is that the journalist or someone else? There's that dude. Some barrels. Maybe there's some loot in here. Got an egg. Fine, we'll take some rotten meat, whatever. Nice healing. Golden chandelier, moldy bread. Is there a way to get into that? Doesn't look like it. That's a cliff right there. Guess they don't want us to go this way. Oh, maybe there is a way. Maybe not. Found a road. Outskirts of Preheville, an eerie silence fills the air, devoid of any life. Can't go that way. The mist slowly creeps from the deeper woods. Whoa. Alrighty. Termina is upon us. Oh, you want a battle, boy? Your words are in vain. The woodsman is clearly out for blood. No skills. Let's take out that arm. Got it. Nice. Take out his other arm. This has been Fear and Hunger #2, a thriller/horror RPG. With nothing quite like it, this RPG does well to set itself apart. Check out the game below via the link in the description. What the? Foul thing squirts warm fluid in. Feels like it's injecting Glako with something. Rip it off! What am I done for? Looks like it. Can I do anything? Couldn't do anything. Dead. See where they left us. Thanks for watching the video. If you like this type of content, subscribe and check out some of my other videos. I play RPGs, indie games, and oddball games. See you on the next one.